here we are for my third podcast, and I'm joined by my co-star, Veah. Yeah, Veah from Before the 90 Days has joined us on our podcast, and I'm very thankful for you, Veah, to give me the time. I know you've been busy and doing a lot of things. We're gonna touch on some things today. Nothing, no clickbaits, no catchy catches for you guys. Sorry, turn it off. No. This is all about Veah. This is all about Veah, your life. I don't know you from. You know what I'm saying? People may think we know each other. We don't know each other.
This is my first time meeting Brian.
Yeah, that's what I was telling.
And Brian is here in Florida.
Yeah, so I came
Brian
to Florida.
has been in Orlando for the past week.
And I said, Veah, we got to do this podcast. I want to see what's going on and let people know, and kind of the real behind the scenes stuff. Not nothing secretive about the show or anything, but our life. What they didn't say. Like they didn't say I was the coach of Brazil's national wheelchair rugby team for 8 years, basically. It's like, where did that go? So everybody thinks I'm this guy, this other guy. So maybe there's some things you want to say, or who you
not
were
everything
growing up.
can. What I've realized, not everything, can be,
explained or
not everything
or resolved.
Yeah, not everything can there's they're filming you all day, and it's not everything.
Well, what I mean, rather than saying, because we don't want to say anything that. We like the show. I like the show. You like the show. It's good for my life. I had a really good
experience,
right?
Actually.
It's been good.
My experience on the show was great, and my experience with my producers was lovely. They were all really kind,
right?
And my field producer, she was awesome. She had a great personality, and everyone honestly had a great personality, and we had a lot of fun.
I have talked about my episodes and my things, and there were some things that they asked you to do, and I'm not going to touch on yours, and that's your business and your things.
But there were some me in the episode.
Well, there were things that they asked me to do, and they asked me at one point to date somebody, to ask somebody to go to dinner with me after our relationship was done, and that was them asking me, which was fine, and I did it, and I understand what I signed up for. But later on, people in real life, real world, they just say, "Oh, you're a scumbag. You couldn't wait 2 seconds." I was like, "No, you don't understand." So TV is TV, and reality is reality. Is it all real? Reality? Is that a catch one? You don't want to answer that? We can cut that one. But I mean, because what I'm trying to get at is people think reality TV, it's real, right? It's not a documentary. Correct? It's not a documentary, but it's reality TV. It's for entertainment purposes.
Well, you do film your life in hopes that people, I guess, will find you entertaining. Yeah, I guess. I didn't really think about if people were going to find me. I don't know. My time of filming just happened so quick, I feel like. Right. And I was just in South Africa that I didn't really have time to even think about it, I felt like, because it was you film for long days that I didn't even...
It's 12-hour days. That's what people don't get either.
You wake up early and you go to bed late because you have a lot to you're sharing your life. You signed up to share your life,
But I think most of the time is spent on them putting lighting and all this stuff, don't you? I mean, it's a lot of the waiting around.
You do.
It's a ton of waiting around.
You do have, they do have to put the lightings and, mic you up and, of course, all the stuff that comes with filming.
Right.
So you do, that's part of it, and there's a process of that, and then you go into filming, and it's long, and so
it's fun. It's long, but it is tiring and exhausting. People think that maybe it's simple or something like that, and it's definitely not.
No, filming is not simple.
Right. So before I know I jumped straight to the show, but who were you before the show? And you don't got to go all into. You go into what you want to, but I mean, where did you grow up as a kid playing? I don't know what. You know what I'm saying? What were your things? Were you musical? Were you
definitely not musical?
What was it? I mean, neither. I've never been anything like that. But I mean, if you want to, whatever you want to touch on as your childhood, growing up, and up until maybe take us up to the show if you.
So growing up, I was born in the great state of Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. And then.
How many years were you there?
I don't know. I left Tennessee when I was a baby. Okay. Yeah. And so then I went to Idaho, and I've spent most of my life
in Idaho.
In Idaho, yeah. So, yeah. And then I moved around, and I've traveled, of course, when I hit 18, because I grew up in the foster care system out there.
Okay, in Idaho, is that you say out there in Idaho foster care system, and then if you don't want me to talk about something,
No,
let me
you can
know.
totally talk
But I'm
about
just curious because I don't know. I grew up in Chicago and a whole different thing. But you were saying also about religion when you were growing up that there was some kind of, was that just being the foster care homes that sometimes the people were this and that and they try to force religion on you or something?
Okay, so yeah, so what was seen in the show was, so I was adopted into this family, and so the family didn't adopt us right away. We actually lived with that family for years before they adopted us.
Before they adopt, right?
And so they only decided to adopt us because my brothers, I had two brothers that hit 16 and were emancipated back to the South.
Uh-huh.
And so they went to go live with my family, my birth parents again, and they couldn't do that. So Idaho is not a station of emancipation, but the South is. So they couldn't do that if there was adoption. So they only had guardianship of us. So that's why they chose to adopt all of us. And we were older at that point, so we had to have they had to make a decision. Like we had to have to say yes, we wanted adoption because we were
almost adult.
No, not almost. There's just the legal age.
Okay.
In Idaho, of like that a child gets a choice in that stuff.
Okay,
and
well that's
so,
kind of cool. I mean,
yeah, so we weren't really up for it so much, but there was
because you guys were together at that point, and then adoption would mean they get separated.
No, we would still be in the same home. We just, I don't know. I don't know, for some reason, like my older siblings just wasn't about it, so I wasn't about it, and they still chose to, like, they told us all these horror stories. You know, if you don't do this, you know, you guys can't swim in the canals anymore. You know, you can't do this on the property. There are so many rules.
Just all kind of crap.
Yeah, so it was like we had to be adopted. They left us no choice but to be adopted.
Uh-huh.
And just so, anyways, long story short, we get adopted, and shortly after is when CPS starts getting involved in our life.
And what is that?
CPS is Child Protective Services,
okay,
or DCF.
Okay.
And so they start getting involved in, just started documenting little things. But the adopted family, you know, so we live in a very tiny town, right? And they own a church. Everyone, like, the town knows them. You know, we're missionaries, kind of like they go out and they spread the gospel in this town into other towns and tell people about Jesus. And, you know, so
it's about helping the kids, but it's also about spreading the word and getting that, using that little, you got a bunch of workers.
Yeah, so all the cops kind of knew them. And so it was like very hard, I feel like, for the cops to like believe us almost. But like they would see bruises or whatever, and the cops would take pictures, but nothing would happen. And that happened time and time.
They're the power behind everything. They, more or less, they're moving things. They're making things move in that city, in that little town.
Yeah. And people liked them. Like they would get like checks in the mail. Like I remember one time somebody like sent them a $2,000 check. And anonymously. But it was just like they were known. You know, they took in kids and they helped kids. You know, they were like, they weren't known as bad people, right? They were known as...
There was some, not, I don't want to say there was abuse behind the scenes, but there were maybe physical with people sometimes.
There was definitely a little abuse.
Okay, I don't want to jump to it. I didn't want to say
maybe a little bit more than a little.
Again, it's how you want to go with this.
Yeah, there was definitely some iffy things that went on behind the scenes for sure.
Yeah.
But they were very old school in that way, and they took all the scriptures to literally the extreme. And so, like, there's a scripture and
what religion? Is it just Catholic, or was it like Protestant, or what? I mean, I don't know.
They called themselves Pilgrims for Christ. That's the name of that. Was the name
that was the name of the
that
thing.
That was the name. I'm just gonna say was.
Okay.
Because
maybe they changed it for tax purposes and get more taxes on something else.
Yeah, there was. It's no longer.
It's not.
Yeah, it's no longer.
Oh my God. Okay.
The church is a thing, but I don't think the name's a thing anymore.
It's probably how old was the father of this adoption? You know what I mean?
They were older. That's the thing.
So that's probably what happened. Maybe they just died out or something. Just
the wife has died. Yes, the wife has passed away, and they don't even own the church anymore.
You know what I mean?
Their kids own the church now.
Yeah. See.
So
I wonder if they're going to do the same adoption thing as the parents did.
They're
kinda. Is it going?
They do have a daughter that has adopted multiple children.
See, that's kind of,
I don't know. I don't.
No, it's okay. You see both sides of it. I feel for the kids in the whole situation, because there was a guy in our neighborhood that had that he was adopting, not even adopting, but like you said, take caring of children and then adopting once in a while. But he was always running through numbers, and it was always, is that good?
Well,
yeah, so it was just weird, and then we didn't know the behind the scenes, so I was always curious about this stuff.
Right. Well, I'm not against everything they did.
No,
like they taught
they're
us
helping
a lot
kids.
of really great things. religions.
You know,
They just took the scriptures to literally the extreme, and I think this is how people can get caught up in religion
and some crazy things.
And crazy, yeah, like and I think this is why if you're going to be in, I mean, religion's great, right? But I think this is the importance of praying over the scriptures and asking, God
Being able to ask and being able to have the conversation with a pastor or somebody to say,
God and
what
pray.
do you mean? What do you mean only one God? What is he talking about? Talk to me. Explain this, right? Not just whip you because it says whatever.
Right. But yeah, not everything. I'm not against everything they did. Like, they did some really great things.
Of course, they helped a lot. Probably a lot of children get out of a lot of bad situations.
Yeah.
For one. That's
yeah,
a given,
they were just a little extremist in some areas.
Right. And it could have been a little rough, a little bit of,
I mean, we had a great life in the sense of like we lived like way out in the country on
could have been worse.
Huge farm. It was like 48 acres of farmland, and we like you go from that type of environment into like the real world, because that was not the real world.
Right.
That was very isolated, and you realize like there's so much internet, all this. We didn't have TV, we didn't have internet. Like we did, we had a phone. Like they had a house phone, but that was it. Like there was nothing. Like we didn't have friends.
And how old were you? You were 15, 16-ish. You said your brothers were 16-ish.
My brothers were. I was still like, I think around 12.
Okay, you're about 4 years younger than probably your youngest brother.
Yeah, it was a little, I'm the youngest. So, yeah, so we, anyways, we just ended up getting taken away because of some of the like abuse. Like they were just like.
They did finally get investigated or something? Or?
They did, yes.
They did.
So eventually, after so much documentation, they they start sending like DCF, CPS out, and we were being talked to. And one day I was actually gone, and I was at their daughter's house. So it would have been my sister, my older sister, not my blood sister, but my adopted sister. And she was about to give birth. Yeah. And they do all their births at home, by the way.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so they don't believe in doctors or anything, and so.
Is there anything because they're hiding something in that, or it could be hidden, or just we're just that's our religion. We don't do medicine.
It's not because they're hiding anything, but they don't believe that women need to give birth in the hospital, and they also don't do vaccinations.
Okay.
And so there's no reason for them to do,
It's impure. Maybe it impurified the blood.
Their children, their children are all delivered usually by them or a midwife.
Okay.
And sometimes they don't even do midwives. But yeah, they just lock the door and they have their baby inside.
And you
the bedroom.
said your sister, well, your house sister, right? If that's what I don't even know what to call it.
My adopted sister.
Your adopted sister. Shit, I don't freaking know. So, so your adopted sister had a baby this way.
Yeah, all their kids
in the room. Screaming.
Yeah, everyone did. That was normal.
In the room screaming.
Yeah, that's normal.
Were you around?
Yes. So yes, it was normal for little girls or girls to be introduced to that.
What do you mean? Introduced to the birthing?
Yeah, because you're going to grow up and you're going to do that.
So be in the room as I got my stuff out there. You're in the room as the kid.
Yes, they want you to learn to help deliver babies. Because it's you're going to grow up and do. Like in that culture, you don't work. So women. Their job is to, I mean, I don't want to say it like this, but this is what they do. They do stay at home and they take care of the man and they take care of the children and they have the children. Okay. And that is their primary role.
Fine.
And I'm not against that. That's,
but I'm freaking out about seeing it at 8 years old and seeing this. That's what kind of weird.
Okay, I don't think I was 8 years old.
No, but I don't know how old. I mean, explain to help me with that.
Usually, I don't know. They kind of decide, they do it based off your maturity level. So when you're ready, each child is different.
Everybody's
so it's kind of
when
they feel like you're old enough and to see that.
For sure on above 13, probably 12, 13.
It could be like 11, 10.
Maybe,
I mean,
it
depending, yeah. But, like, it's not like a traumatizing, they don't do it in a traumatizing way. Like, you're going to grow up and you're going to do this. And so for me, and I had delivered multiple animals' babies. We delivered calves and goats, and I love delivering my animals' babies. Like, yeah, we were farmers.
I'm a city boy. It's like,
yeah. I had a goat and her babies got stuck in her. Like she couldn't give birth on her own. So I'm out there like pulling like this like baby goat out of my you have to be careful. But
how old?
Oh,
all of it? 7, 10, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13?
You're young. You see this. It's normal. You see this stuff from so it's just normal. If like an animal needed help you, help it. You don't want your animal to die. And so you learn how to do these things properly.
Birth to a friggin', wow.
Yeah, we learn to do these things properly. right?
Okay,
And
I
so
can get that. I get that a little
you
bit.
see birth from a young age. I mean, I used to sit out there and watch my rabbits give birth. Like,
No big deal.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was
no
just,
biggie.
it was cute. It was like such a, like, for me, it was like, this is kind of how we were
Life.
taught. Yeah, it was life coming into the world
Right.
and its creation, and it was beautiful. And so
Okay.
that's kind of was like, it was never traumatizing.
Okay, sweet. So
There were some
that
other
was-
things that was obviously traumatizing, but
That's all right, but I mean that was a little strange. But then I obviously understood with the whole with the making it beautiful thing, you know.
yeah.
But okay, so you were there, and then you eventually.
Well, I was up at the daughter's house, and when I was up there, we got a phone call, and it said CPS had just come and taken all my siblings away.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and so then, they were like, when I got back, they were like, well, they're like, what are you going to do, and what do you want to do? And I was like, I'm like crying, and they're like, I was like, I want to go be with my siblings, like I want my family, like my siblings, and they were like, okay, and they try to like tell me to stay there and all this stuff, and then like CPS just came and picked me up, or no, CPS called and they said meet me at the gas. They told them meet us at the gas station. This was like the next day, I think.
How old were you?
I think I was like 11, 12.
Damn.
And they said meet us at the gas station, and we need her. And so then I went there, and all they let me take was the clothes I had on me and my Bible, and that was all I was able to take. So we left everything, all my animals, like I couldn't take anything.
Going to where now? Going into the system,
Yep.
and
And
that
so-
means government building, like home, like
No, I went into a foster home. So I went and I stayed with this couple.
immediately.
Yep.
Wow.
They put us, yep, and I went and like, and by the way, I go and I have this dress on and this head covering, and
Like an Amish, like what? I mean, I don't know. What do you mean head covering? Help me out. I don't
like just this white head
know.
covering
Okay,
and
okay.
this dress,
Okay.
and I go into foster care and everyone's wearing pants,
Right.
little
Normal
clothes,
Nikes
and
da-da-da,
yeah,
right?
and I'm just like, I'm running around this foster home in my dress and everything, and I didn't want to take it off. And they're like, oh, you could take it off if you want to, and you can put on some pants, and we'll take you shopping.
Did you not want to look like the other kids, or you just felt super
No,
comfortable? In
all I
your
knew
thing?
my whole life was to wear dresses and head coverings. I knew to cover my body, and it was a sin to take it off because you don't want to like show your body,
Attention.
yeah, you don't want to attract the wrong type of attention. Like they taught us from a young age, like there was never a time we could ever walk around the house like, even in our nightgowns, like you just, even in front of your brothers, you don't do it. It's just inappropriate. So you always were, if you went out, you're always in your dress and your head covering. You could never even walk in front of your brothers without your head covering on. Like your brothers could never see your hair,
Oh wow.
even though they were your brothers. They just couldn't. Like
Wow.
our brothers couldn't even see our ankles. Like
Yeah, a lot of people probably associate that with Muslim and this and that. But I would never think that Catholic or Christ, whatever religion, you know what I mean? That we think that's always Muslim, that's always over there, that's always somewhere else. But that's
Right.
here.
Well,
here too.
yeah, no,
Some religions.
yeah, they definitely weren't Muslims. They
Okay, no, that's
far from that,
wow.
but they just like, yeah, they read the King James Version Bible, the original one, and they just took scriptures. And I'm not hating on everything they do because
No.
I can admire them.
Yeah.
But, like looking now where I'm at in life and looking back, and I read the scriptures myself now, and if the Bible literally says to live in the world, not of the world, right? And so they took that to the extreme too,
Right.
and they tried to not live of the world. And so that was the whole part of like keeping us so isolated because they didn't want. And when you get into the world,
Of the world means some changing, some technology, some changing of thoughts.
well, when you get
growing.
into the world, you can see there's a lot of things that go on. That's like, that's just. I mean, there's just things that go on that you're like,
You can't
wow,
believe.
that's crazy.
You
Yeah,
can't
like
believe.
there's like
murder, like all the violence, like all the craziness of the world. You don't see that on the farm.
drugs.
You don't see that. Okay, the
And
drugs.
so they tried to
all
keep
that
us
stuff.
so far away from that. And they had a kid actually that hit 18, and he was a drug addict. And they tried to keep us so far away from him because live in the world, not of the world, right? And they didn't want him to be a bad influence, which I understand and I could admire that, right?
Right.
But I don't know. It was like, I don't know. They did come across like it was almost like perfect. And I think they tried to live their life so perfect. And
Right.
the crazy part about that is like they have a son now that is in prison for none other than molesting his own child, raping his daughter. And he was a pastor. And he raped his daughter.
Wow.
And he is doing life in prison for rape, and impregnating his own daughter.
Yeah, I mean, some people could take it one way. It's like having an abusive father. Some children can become super successful from that, or some people become homeless on that same thing. It's like my father was abusive to me. And it's like just depends how you take it, I guess. And that guy took it to a
Well, and there was
crazy
things like
extreme.
that went on in the home that were ignored. So if they would have listened, they would have knew their child was their son, their older son that was already married and had kids of his own. He was a sex offender from day one.
Wow.
And there was the like I had like for example, my sister, she's older than me obviously, and she would tell them, he's doing very inappropriate things towards me. He's asking me inappropriate questions. And there was they had other adopted children in the home, and the other adopted kids would make the same complaint. Like he has opened the bathroom door knowing I'm in there, and just stood there and stared at me while I'm not unclothed, things like that. And they didn't believe it. And it wasn't until his own daughter started saying that he was raping her and she became pregnant, and a lot of them still deny this, that he did this, but he is charged and he is doing life in prison for raping and impregnating his own daughter. And so there was a lot of just things like that, questionable
sad
things.
Stuff to come out of that. I mean, something with good. Basically, I mean, it's good intentions, right? Good intentions at the beginning turns into just friggin' some people abusing the system, abusing the situation, secrecy, all that other stuff. But
yeah, so there's just things and so we ended up there was some good and there was obviously some bad and some really harsh punishments.
Right.
And so they punished us a lot with food. They would take food away from us, so we
Get
were all really underweight. And
does that affect you today, you think, as far as your thinking? And I'm sure it does, right? My childhood affects me. Can you catch something that, oh my God, I got that from childhood?
I don't know. Do I
Not
think
really.
do I think the eating thing affects me?
Anything.
But do I think things that affect me from living there? Yes, but I also think I've worked a lot on them.
You're trying to identify them and work on them. Yeah, me too.
I've spent a lot of time healing, especially after filming.
Me too.
And kind of doing some self-reflection. And
so, do you meditate? Do you meditate or not really?
I do, but I think it's a different type of meditation.
Or more prayers.
Yeah, prayers and journaling and things like that.
That's cool. As long as you look inside, I think it's super important to take that time. I don't care how you do it. I don't care if you do it
I'm not
computer. No, and you don't have to be. I can't even do it myself. I can't even do that. But I do meditate. I lay on my stomach in any other position I'm comfortable in, and go inside and think about what I can change and get better with. But eventually you got out of that. You're in the system now with 13, 14-ish, right? You're going how many maybe?
Home to home to home.
Yeah, a bunch.
Yeah, and I ended up
I hate to hear that.
So I went from extreme, and I had a foster home for a really short time, and then they moved me to the other foster home with the rest of my siblings.
You had an extreme? What did you say?
I went from one extreme to the other.
One extreme to another. Okay.
So I went from seeing God and them
you knew where your socks and underwear were, and so we were living it out of a bag.
Yes, and then and then the whole religion, they were very into religion.
Yeah.
And then
then totally not.
Yes, and then I went from to a foster home, then they moved me to another one to be with the rest of my siblings.
But still the same state?
Yes, still in Idaho. And then I went and I had a foster mom that was actually a witch. And so it went from one extreme to the other extreme.
Right,
and she didn't believe in God. She actually told me she rebuked God. And she was a Satan worshiper.
And did she have you do certain things like, don't do that? I don't want to see you praying. I don't see that damn Bible over here. Get that thing out of here.
No, so
nothing like that.
Back, no, but they also didn't have a lot of rules. They let us we literally did whatever. We
the
had
satanic
no
house.
Yeah, we had no rules. We did whatever we wanted.
How long?
We lived there for quite a long time, and
you say we? Were you with your brothers?
I was with my siblings, and then the other adopted children. They moved out of their home.
Oh, well, at least you guys stayed together.
Yeah, so they had 3 other adopted kids that weren't related to us at all. But they were in the home and they were adopted. And so we all lived. I had 3 siblings. I had my brother and my sister and me. And so there were 6 of us, and they put us all in this one foster home. And so
now this is the lady, that satanic house lady, got 6 new kids all in one wrapper. Here you go. Here's 6. And that's her number. She said, 666.
Something like that. Yeah. So,
Wonderful.
so I now live in this home. And yeah, it was like cool because like we had like no rules, and so it went from like one extreme to the other extreme. But no,
Right.
she wasn't. They weren't like they never said anything about if we had a Bible or anything. I don't even. We never read our scriptures. We never went to church.
But
there.
now you're 14, right? 14ish now.
Maybe, yeah.
Are you getting curious to go out and run around, or that guy's cute, or
Well,
some
they
of that
sent me
starts
to
getting in
public
there?
school. So I went to public school.
Okay,
And I wore my dress.
with your dress and the veil, obviously, because it matches.
I don't think I wore that.
You didn't wear the matching veil? Okay.
And I got made fun of. And so then I decided to start wearing pants. And so this
Wait. What happened with the dress?
I wore it.
Yeah.
And I got made fun of, so I decided to wear pants.
A lot.
So,
a lot.
Yeah, so I
Like every day. Man,
I think I only wore it once.
Oh, really? The once was enough. Once was
And then I
enough.
decided to wear pants.
Yeah.
And
Did you feel weird at first or not?
Yeah, I definitely, and they were too tight because the dresses are loose,
So we bought the pants were too tight?
Yeah.
You're walking on like
Well, yeah, they just felt tight.
stiff.
Now, of course, I'm like, I have to have my pants like fitting, like that. But
But you're new to it. You're new to pants.
yeah, so. But yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
started going out. Me and my siblings, we had like full range to do whatever we wanted. Like we had like no rules, and so we
Did
did.
any work or something to where you guys were just had it, or she just said, "Oh, doors open. As long as I get the checks, do what you want."
Doors was open, and we could do whatever we wanted. And I even had a cell phone. I got a cell phone. Yeah, it was cool. I was living my best life.
Okay.
Or I thought I was. I was like,
How old are you now, if you don't mind me asking? Or around? Was this 10 years ago or 15 years ago? You were 14. Around this.
I'm 29 now, I think.
Okay, so you were that was 15 years ago. 14, 15
Yeah, it
years
was
ago.
a long time ago. But we
Okay.
would ride our bikes
That's
up
all
to
right.
Walmart all the time, and my brother would get me. There was these big giant gumballs, and we'd get the 50-cent giant gumballs.
That was your trip? Go up there, get the gumballs, come
And
back?
candy, yeah. There was
That
like
was
a
living it.
GameStop. Oh yeah, we got into video games.
Got the video game.
And I would play video games with my brother.
Well, no rules. No rules.
Yeah, we had like
video
no
game.
rules. It was great.
Well, you obviously didn't have video games at the other house, and now you do. And you guys are seeing this, and you're seeing everything open. Like, oh my god, probably music, probably video games, probably.
Oh yeah, that was
this-
another thing. It was like, and my brother, he got a
Everything.
job, and he got this nice sound system in his room, and we had soda. My brother would buy like Mountain Dew and Pepsi. And
What does Max mean? Ah, boom, 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 boom.
we couldn't
shit,
drink
that's what
soda
Max
or
means.
listen to music like that. We couldn't even listen to country. All we could listen to was like the music like that we sang at the church, and we recorded it on a
God is
CD or a
good.
tape.
We are good. Love is life. All this
Which
stuff.
I'm not
whatever.
against, like
No,
praise the
he's
Lord,
got his
hallelujah,
time.
music.
Got his
But
time for everything. But now you're out of there. Now you're into this freedom, right? Until 18ish.
no. So then
Ooh.
the foster dad slept.
Oh, wait a minute. There was a dad in the house. I
There
thought it was
was a
just a
dad.
crazy
Nope.
lady. There was a guy there. Oh,
Yes,
God. Who
there
did he
was a
sleep with?
foster dad, but
And that, well, maybe you don't want to say that other part. I don't know. Slept with the cat. Slept with the family cat.
there was a cat actually.
Oh, shit.
He slept with one of the adopted siblings, so not my real sister,
Okay.
but the other adopted girl, one of them. She started having a sexual relationship with the dad, but she's like 16 years old. So now he's like, that's like wrong. That's like illegal.
Right.
And
Yikes.
anyway, so that was a whole mess. We were immediately, CPS shows up, and I don't even know what's going on at this point.
Out. Somebody spoke up.
Yes. Which ended up being one of his coworkers.
Oh.
He told one of his coworkers at work,
Jeez.
and his coworker
There you
reported
go, boy.
him.
Good.
And his coworker was awesome, but
Good.
she also had a relationship with him. And so now,
With who? The coworker?
yes,
Oh,
but then
jeez.
he
He was
ended up,
jealous. Damn. You wanted her for
I
him?
guess. So he was already in jail, I guess, and I didn't know this at the time until like we were removed. But I didn't even know why we were being removed. But then we were removed, and
Your mic's on, right? Yeah.
okay, so we knew that they had a weird relationship. It was obvious. Like his wife would be like in the room.
She got the big steaks. She got everything good.
Yeah, she would like lock herself in the room and like I don't know what she did in there. Her little potions and reading her Bibles, or whatever, and so
crazy.
she was in there doing that, whatever she did in there, and he would be out there laid up like on the couch. It was so weird. Let me just tell you how weird this was, because they would be like laid on the couch and she'd like lay on his lap, but she'd be like, "Daddy, can I have this?" It was weird. Like she would call him Daddy, and he would always tell us that he was going to adopt her.
I love this one.
So
Wow.
it was an interesting situation. But we thought it was weird that like, because we came from a home and you didn't lay on your daddy's lap, and especially being an older daughter like that, you don't lay on your
6 years old, 5 years old.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So being like 16,
12,
you don't.
12
this
and
isn't
above.
your biological dad.
11.
He has not adopted
No.
you. So we thought it was interesting, even from a young age. We thought it was weird,
Wow.
but we never knew that was actually going on, and so. Somehow it came out. It got back to CPS through the coworker that they were doing this.
Oof.
So then we got
So
taken
here they
away.
come with the van.
And so pretty much
Everybody else.
So now
Shit.
he's like going through the legal process, jail and all that. They actually ended up getting married and having kids together. He ended up leaving his wife, marrying her, and having kids.
All right.
So that's how we ended up leaving that one. And then after that home, I just got a crap ton of behavioral problems, and from there I just moved around and went to a girls' home.
But eventually you're 18, right?
Yeah.
Like, see you guys later. I'm on my own.
Yeah, I mean.
And then does it feel like that? See you later. I'm gonna do this shit myself. You guys got me in all this.
I did feel like that. Yes, I did.
Right?
And I didn't want to stay in any of my foster homes. Not that I don't even know if it was like an option,
right?
Really. I don't know. Like the foster home I lived in, she let me live there for like a couple weeks after I was 18, but told me I would need to move out. And so.
Do they kind of just want the check? Is it all about the checks? We got 8 kids. That's check. That's $8,000 a month.
There was definitely some homes like that, yes.
Right?
I think I had 2 good foster homes, right? And one of them, I'm still like, we talk all the time. She was like lovely.
That's cool. See, that's cool. That's a good.
She was strict on me. She did not let me do anything.
Well, that's all right. She wants to take care of you.
Yes, but looking back, she was like the best home I ever lived in.
Yeah, because she cared about you.
Yeah. The other ones, they kind of like, not, I don't know, they just.
Cattle.
Yeah. And I didn't have any behavioral problems living in her home, and I lived with her for 2.5 years, and I had like no behavioral problems. Wow. And that's what she always told me. She's like, yeah. She was like,
that with me.
When your last, one of my foster moms called her, and she was like, I don't know what child you gave me, but she's nothing like you told me she was.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not the Veah I know. When she told her all the stuff I was doing, she was like, doesn't sound like the girl I know. And I was like, she's like, I don't know what you're doing to her, but that don't sound like the Veah I know.
Wow, how crazy. So eventually 18, out of there.
Yep, I turned 18, and then I moved into a trailer park with a boyfriend.
Okay. And wait, now slow down on that, because now you're 18, you said, and now is that in any way abusive, or is that in any way?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah.
You're hitting him, or he's hitting you, or both of you guys are hitting on each other?
No, I didn't hit.
You never know. I like that. So you got to be fair. You got to be fair to the guys. But so he's an idiot.
Right.
He's an idiot. Is he older than you?
Yes. So that was another thing, is I always dated older in high school. So
30-ish.
No, he was in his late 20s. He was about 26.
Okay.
I was like,
so crazy.
Yeah, I was like 16 when I started dating. He was like, I think he was 24 when I met him.
Wow.
But
under 18, yeah, then it's crazy. But,
yeah, it was wild. I mean, looking back,
But after where you guys stayed, it was the same guy when you turned 18. That guy.
Yeah. So I moved in with him, and so at this point, I don't know this is like a lot, but I don't know. I don't know the whole situation because I didn't live with him, and I just seen him, here and there, right? But
was he a truck driver? What do you mean here and there? Why was he out of the house all the time? Just young, playing with the guys all the time, messing around, drinking, and
he worked, and so it was just like
I mean, I know
he just
you
kind of
work and you got
life.
your spare time. You hang out with the guys, and then you go home to the wife at like 3 a.m.
Yeah, but I was in foster care. That's what I'm saying.
Still were.
This is when I was in foster care.
At
so
16.
before I moved in with him, like I didn't know the things that I learned after I moved in with him. So when I moved in with him, I learned that he had a real bad opioid problem. He did so he got prescription pills.
Does that make you sleep? I forget. I don't know. My brother was kind of
he was snorting
painkiller, and then does that just make you like nod the fuck out? Or?
Yeah. So they give him like methadones.
Okay.
And he would like snort them, and so I didn't know at the time, but it made him just not himself, and he was like very mean and very violent, and so like fast forward, I finally got a grip on myself, and I was like, man, I don't even want to live in the trailer park. Like, I really don't.
This
Like,
is
it wasn't a
crazy.
nice
Going
trailer
back
park.
to the friggin'
We lived in
Iowa.
the ghetto,
Idaho.
side of the trailer park, like town. Ain't no nice trailer park. I've seen some real nice trailer parks.
But not that one.
Not this one.
Okay.
It was the ghetto.
Okay.
And so everyone's tweaking there. Like, and I'm not hating on the tweakers because that's where I come from.
We love the tweakers.
Yeah, like that's where I come from. But I'm just saying, like, everyone was like
Out there.
you would see people like overdosing, nodding out, like, it was just a bad
situation.
And yeah, I'm like, so I kind of had my own experience with like pills, so I kind of like was able to pick up on everything. And so because through high school, I really, like, when I hit 16, I really got into like the pills too and drinking alcohol.
Okay.
And so anyways,
smoking weed. You're smoking
and
weed.
I smoked the weed too. I definitely smoked the weed. And so I just, I ended up leaving him, putting that in the past, and kind of just like established myself. I got a job, and I started working, and I got my own place, and I did get help. A lady that actually knew me, she was like she ran like a housing situation for foster kids, like that were aging out of the foster care, and she kind of helped me a little bit, and she let me stay in one of her houses, and she helped me find a place and all this stuff. And so
and
got me a job,
ready for the world.
Yeah, and helped me, and then I really took advantage of that, and I became an adult. I got it, and
that's good. That's necessary. I mean, we eventually have to grow up, right? I mean, in my life, I think I was 18. I went to California. I thought I'd get a job there. I slept in a hotel friggin' lobby for like 3 days and didn't get a job. Lived with my brother in Oklahoma. Just young, dumb, crazy shit. You think it's gonna work, and it just doesn't pan out the way you dream it. It's like, real life,
Yeah.
Wow. So did that, got out. Is there anything you want to put out there before the show? Because you did the show, you say you're 29 now. She probably did it when you're 26, right?
I was 27.
27.
Yeah.
So we got about 7 or 8 years there from 19 to the show. Anything you want to touch on? I don't want to go too much into what we talked about some personal things earlier, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there. We don't want.
Yeah, and then I was just in Idaho. I kind of moved around, as people know. I went to at some point live in Ohio. I mean, I moved around before that too, but like
Idaho to Ohio.
I would always end up back in Idaho. Yeah, and then I ended up in I fell pregnant, and I ended up in Ohio with Rory, and then I moved back to Idaho after we broken up, and then I kind of just like I went back. I joined the Mormon Church.
Oh, and you did. You were Mormon.
I did. I joined the Mormon Church.
And we're in Ohio. Is it Ohio?
No. When I went back to Idaho.
Oh, you did go back to Idaho.
After Rory, I went back to Idaho, and
then you did Mormon church there.
Yes, but before this was when my brother had passed away in the baby, and so like I really hated God.
Wait a minute.
At this point, I'm mad at God.
Your brother passed away.
Yes, my brother was shot and killed by law enforcement.
Oh shit! I hate to hear that. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
My brother passed away. I was 49. I was 48. My brother passed away before he turned 50. He was in Mexico, and he fell out of bed. He had a gastric bypass, which opened up, and he bled internally.
Oh wow, that's
and he was married to somebody that we never had a funeral for him or anything, because she didn't give us the ashes, and she didn't share that with his family. So that was
really
So that's I hope at least you guys had closure to your brothers.
We did have a funeral. I was not there. I was on video chat.
That's okay. He had it. You guys had it as a family.
I was in the hospital with the baby situation. So that's when.
Help that.
Yeah, that was like the whole situation with the baby. I was when his funeral.
Wow. So you were going through a lot.
Yeah.
Double time.
Yeah. Right? So I was like, when I was at the hospital, I told my brother, I prayed, and I said, I hadn't had a relationship with God in years, since I like the adopted family.
I need you.
And I was like, God, if you're real,
where are you at?
You're gonna save my brother's life. And if you don't save my brother's life,
ouch,
I know you're not real.
Ouch.
And so when they told me, your brother's passed on, You know,
You just cut ties.
I says, all right, God, I know you're not real. And I walked out of that hospital and I was like, yeah. And then my baby passed away and I was like, yeah, I definitely know he's not real now. Like, that was my attitude.
Isn't that crazy?
And I was like, if he is real, I'm so angry with him. But I mean, no God is going to let this happen, right?
Right.
Like that was my attitude at the time.
No, I hear you, because I did the same thing with my gunshot. I got shot in the shoulder, hit my spinal cord. I can't walk. I'm 27, and people are telling me, pray. God's gonna give you your legs back. Really? I gotta pray? Is that what I gotta do? I gotta pray to somebody to get my legs back? Keep them. If that's the God that you want me to pray to, I don't want it. But so I had that same attitude, that spiteful attitude, and then later on, I did. It's not that, Brian. It's that you gotta find God. I find it in me. Other people find it in other things, but I find it in me to come out of that, and then to better myself. But I was very spiteful at first, like you're saying you were. Spiteful. Screw the world. I'm gonna do this shit myself.
Yeah.
Right. Pretty much.
And then I went to, after we broke up, which was shortly after the baby situation, after we had lost the baby, I moved back to Idaho and I joined the Mormon Church, and I was in there for about 3 years, like in the Mormon faith. But I still was really upset with God. And
what, did you talk to anybody? Did you tell them that? Was there a counselor? Was there somebody from the church that you talked to? Nobody, sister thing?
I didn't really tell anybody. I just
right, because that's something you should talk about.
I was just trying to deal with it, and I wasn't seeing a therapist
super important again,
anymore.
Right?
And so, when I went back to Idaho before all of that is when when I left Rari was the time around the eating disorder. So shortly after all that, I fell into an eating disorder, and I went to Idaho and I lived in a lady. She actually helped save sex trafficking victims, but she was able to help me. That was her main goal, but she was able to help me.
With your eating disorder.
Well, she was supposed to, I don't know. That was
not
a whole
necessarily, but
that was a
that was the plan.
I lived there for a little bit, and then I ended up when all that was said and done, I ended up joining the Mormon faith and living on my own. I got a job and I was living on my own, and that's actually how I met one of my good friends that I moved to Florida with. So me and her, eventually I just started to think, I'm like, man, I hate the snow and I hate.
So is that how you came down to Florida from that?
Yeah, I met this girl in the Mormon church.
Okay.
And we
Same
became
age?
Cool. Yeah, she's like 2 years younger than me, but yeah.
She's still here?
Yeah, she's married now too. Yep.
Okay.
She took a nursing job like a couple hours away, but
you guys keep in touch, obviously.
Yeah, we talk and we hang out still, and
sweet.
Yeah, she's married, and anyway, so I was like, I'm gonna move to Florida, and at this time, I'm thinking I'm gonna move to Florida on my own, and one day I was telling her about it, and she was like, girl, why don't you just move in here and I'll move to Florida with you? And so she's like, yeah, because I was telling her I was going to give up my house and everything. And she's like, oh, just stay with me in the meantime, right?
Okay.
And so we were already friends, and so I did. I gave up my lease. I stayed with her. And she's like, I'm coming to Florida too. And she was like, I actually have a twin brother in Florida, in Orlando.
That's it.
I was like, you have a twin? Like, I've known you for how long and I don't know you have
secrets.
A twin?
You're popping secrets.
Yeah, you have a twin brother. And she's like, oh yeah, I don't really talk about him. She was like, because he lives so far. And I was like, okay. So I was like, well, can we call your brother? And she was like, yeah, I haven't talked to him in a long time, but we can call him. And I was like, we can call him and ask him if we can.
Down here, yeah.
I was like, we're just going to call up your brother and ask him if we can live with him. She's like, yeah, why not? And so we did.
Not married, hopefully. Not married.
No,
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because usually you got family. And
I got on the phone with her brother, and I was like, hey, I'm Veah, and I really want to move to Florida, and your sister told me you live in Orlando. And he was like, oh, yeah. And in like a month, I have a room opening up if you guys want to rent a room from me.
Oh, sure. So it worked out.
I was like, no way. So I was like, all right. So I was like, well, we'll fly down. I was like, we're going to book a ticket. We'll fly down and visit for 2 weeks. So we flew down and visited. Went back home for about a month and then moved.
Okay, got all giddy about it and said, okay, let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and so then that's how I ended up in Florida.
So then you're in Florida. So now do you know how old you were? 24? 20?
Oh, I don't know.
Close to 24? Because you were 28 with the show. Or were 26, 27 with the show, right? 27 with the show. You got to be. We're getting close to that. I want to get you to the show without letting out too much of your life that you don't want to let out. You know what I mean? So I think we covered a lot. You feel good with what we covered as your before the show life?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's interesting. and very eye-opening. I had no idea that you went through all this, and for me, it's like, oh my God, never knew
But you
that.
know what? Going through all of that has like really taught me and has helped me grow. So like
Oh
I know
yeah,
some people.
never regret.
I think some people can look at things like even like a situation you've gone through with being in the wheelchair and stuff, and they could be
Right.
like, "Oh, that's so traumatizing," or like that poor person. I never feel like
No.
oh, poor me. Like I'm
Thank you.
grateful.
Right? Thank you, if
Yeah,
anything.
I'm grateful for the growth that comes out of everything that you go
Yeah.
through, and
Yeah.
like I think with everything with the foster system and seeing everything and going through all that, it has really helped me. Like even like with religion now, you know, with my
Yeah.
faith now, it's helped
That's
me.
what I want to. I want to jump over the show and get to that. That's what I want to do. That's what we're going with it. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's helped me there, and it's helped me with it's just I think it's helped me be more sympathetic and caring of others, because I think if I haven't gone through everything I went through, I think when you grow up and your life is just kind of perfect and you don't have, you know,
no
trials,
struggles, no
yeah,
difficulties.
you cannot
You don't know
relate to
the
others that are struggling.
for sure.
And one thing that I really,
It's almost like traveling, right? When you travel, you see that also in other countries. You see the kids like, oh my God, they broke forward and they're smiling, they're laughing and chasing each other like, holy shit. So traveling is like that too, you know, it opens your eyes to new things. And I think, and then with struggles and problems, like you were saying, I like to look at a situation, a difficult situation now is not a problem. It's a learning experience.
and
Trying to
yeah,
grab something from it. And that's
and
what we've all been through.
and when trials come up now, that's exactly what I do. I'm like, what am I supposed to learn from this? And so
Totally, totally. Yeah, don't
instead of
get
being
upset.
like,
Whoa, me, poor me, right?
yep, instead of like having an attitude like, well, why do I have to go through this?
Yeah,
Or
why me, Lord? You
yeah,
know?
I'm like, what am I
Thank you.
supposed to take from this? Let me get what I need out of this so I can move the heck on.
Yeah. Do I
You
gotta
know?
calm down? Do I gotta learn more patience? Do I gotta more love, more compassion? What is it? You know?
Yep.
And go from there. So don't be looking at me for patience over there. No, I'm good. I'm good. She's impatient. She's impatient.
I'm very impatient too,
Yeah.
but my husband, he's so patient.
Is he really? So that's good. So let's skip that. Let's go right over the show. You did the show. You guys saw the show. Watch the show if you didn't. Right? They know about the show. We don't want to talk about anything about the show, and I don't really.
We did
either,
the show.
other than you being grateful for it.
Yeah, no,
Right?
I'm so grateful I did the show. It was such a learning experience. And I had like such a great experience in South Africa and seeing the monkeys and even with my producers and everything.
Right?
And it was just a fun overall
Good experience.
And so I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Right. So I want to ask you too. The only thing I will ask you about the show is that before I did the show, I really wasn't confident in me. I hated my smile. I thought I was goofy looking and so many things on so
Really?
many things. Did you get confidence after the show? Or did you notice that at all? I did. In yourself?
I mean, before the show, I was always caking my face in makeup, and now I just walk around like a little girl with no makeup.
You're okay with it.
I'm married.
Yeah, but you're comfortable with it.
Yeah,
also.
I mean, my husband my husband loves me like regardless,
And that's all that
I
counts.
mean, my
at this
dogs
point,
love
right?
me, so I mean, my dogs and my husband.
They'll take you with or without the makeup. The dog is like you gotta treat
Yeah,
them.
my
Got- they
plants
got
love
you.
me. I mean, you know,
No, but
I-
that's good though. So, but
I'm
So-
just like, yeah, I'm just like living my life, man. I don't even care.
comfortable with it.
Yeah.
With it. And then, you know, along with the show too, I've gotten a lot of messages and a lot of people trying to poke and say bad things, but I won't even ask you what you do with yours, but I don't even read the comments of mine, so don't waste your time. And, you know, I don't let it, that's more about them. If this person comments about me being this and that tells me more about that person than it does about me. You know what I mean? You're going to get that crazy comment from the person living in a whatever house with somebody.
Well, I mean, I think when we put our lives out there, Brian, I think that we open the doors for people to have opinions, and I
sure.
think that's okay.
And I kind of welcome that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, if you're going to put your life out there, you have to, anybody who puts their life out there on TV is going to have to accept the fact that other people is going to have opinions on their lives. And so I've kind of just...
So you don't read the comments either?
I don't really read the comments. Yeah, I just go about my life. And if, you know, if someone has something important to say, you know, they can message me or something, you know, like I don't even really run my own social media, so.
You don't want to get to, and I think that's important too. A lot of people think that because they're sending you the DM, they think that it's going to your eyes, your mind.
And sometimes I do see them.
And sometimes you do.
Yeah, and if somebody says something nice and like talks, like I answer messages sometimes, you know, if I see it, and like, you know, I've had people ask me questions and stuff and that I answer. Like I'm not like, I don't know. I've also like I think there's always going to be a few haters, but I've also gotten a lot of support and a lot of love
Me
from
too.
the show.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that like I've chosen to focus more on the
On the
positive.
positive, because
Then
the
the
negative always going to be there, but that's okay. They bounce it out.
Yeah, it's
everything.
just what we choose to focus on. So I just choose to focus on the positive
Good.
of the show, and like I just like it has brought like positivity into my life, like,
Good.
and so
You feel like you've helped some people? Here
I
and there?
don't I don't know. I have seen
Maybe?
Yeah, I guess
Through
I've seen some
messages?
messages, but like overall, like yeah, I mean, I hope that like I guess like I just hope that people know that like people go through things, like we're all,
We're
this
all
is
human.
real. Like my
Right.
life is like out there now, like I went through some things. We've all gone through things, and we can overcome. And I think like you too, like I mean, Brian, you're literally in a wheelchair,
Yeah, no,
like
I was shot through all my
you've had
garbage
to
and all my
yeah,
stuff,
you've
and I
had to
was
overcome,
and
a
challenging.
shooting, and
Yeah. And a life
be,
after, hands being challenged, and everything
and
else.
I think that's super
background, all the others.
inspiring, and I think like even like just other cast members on the show, like
Niles, I mean, right? Niles. with
yeah, we've
autism.
seen other people with their struggles and like their um and how they've overcome it and how they've worked on it, and everyone has just like something, and it's like, so I think people going through things maybe can relate to some of the stories on the show and be like, wow, I'm not alone, other people are,
Right.
like especially people, I guess like when I was in foster care, I always felt so alone. Like I was so embarrassed. I would not tell anyone I was a foster kid. I was so embarrassed.
Okay.
Because back then foster kids got bullied.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah,
But I think it's more of it's getting more common now for people
it
to
is. It's more
accepting.
acceptable, and kids are accepting of it. They're more understanding of it. You know what I'm saying? Before it was like, what is that? Like I said, these questions I came at you today about that was from me being one of those kids in the city, knowing that house had foster kids in. It's like, what is that? What's going on? Yeah, we didn't know.
Yeah, no one knew
We didn't
either.
know.
Like you would tell somebody like I'm a foster kid, and they wouldn't know.
No.
And like the thing is you couldn't have like the same privileges as other kids. So like as a foster kid, you couldn't get in the car with anyone. You couldn't even go to somebody's house without them being background checked
Oh my God, wow.
by the state. So the state would do like any adult in the house had to be extensively, is that the right word?
Extensive background check.
Yeah, extensive background checks. And so it was just very intrusive, and I wasn't a normal kid, right?
Right.
But it was so embarrassing to me. All of that was just majorly, and like I only had like one
Right.
person I would tell, and it was like one of my friends, and so I could go to her house, but that was the only person's house I could go to.
Wow.
I mean, with my foster parents knowing.
Right.